días a todos. Les damos la bienvenida a una nueva jornada al segundo encuentro de estas jornadas que denominamos jornadas OSSBO, Opening South Business Opportunities. Antes de comenzar, les queremos mencionar que está disponible la versión en inglés y en castellano para la audiencia que nos está escuchando desde Sudáfrica. Mi nombre es Emma Fontanet, soy gerente del Departamento de Comercio Internacional de Fundación ICBC y les agradecemos a todos los participantes que están juntos con nosotros hoy, tanto desde Sudáfrica, que nos escuchan desde Sudáfrica, como de Argentina. Esta es el segundo encuentro de estas jornadas que denominamos OSSBO, que organizamos en forma conjunta con la Embajada de Sudáfrica en Argentina y con Trade and Investment KwaZulo-Natal, junto a ICBC y Fundación ICBC. Agradecemos además la presencia de autoridades provinciales, nacionales, empresarios, profesionales y público en general. Para la apertura de este evento, contamos con la presencia del señor Tielman Farter, encargado de negocios de la Embajada de Sudáfrica en Argentina, y del señor Nabil Machi, director ejecutivo de Trade and Investment KwaZulo-Natal. A continuación, escucharemos las palabras de bienvenida del señor Tielman. Mr. Tielman.
Thank you. A very good morning from a rather cold Buenos Aires, and good afternoon, of course, to our South African friends. Thank you, Emma, for the introductory words. And I would like to say we are very happy that it is the second event that we are hosting this year, together with ICBC, ICBC Foundation, and the Trade and Investment KwaZulo-Natal. Today's event deals specifically with agriculture. And I think there's a great deal that we can talk about in terms of agriculture. We've also been looking at ways to see how we can expand the partnerships and cooperation between our two countries, but also create link-ups between different companies to see what business can be done and what cooperation projects can be investigated. South Africa and Argentina are neighbors across the South Atlantic Ocean. We are quite similar in many ways, but we're also different in other ways. We are not only competitors, but what we would like to focus on today is the complementarities. We have many complementarities that we can learn from each other, share with each other, and know, especially also in terms of agriculture. We are convinced that there's many possibilities for new areas of business, new areas of cooperation, and we're looking to see what can be done to make this a reality. Thank you very much for the ICBC and the ICBC Foundation, and also our partner in South Africa, Trade and Investment KwaZulo-Natal, who's also been most helpful. We have a very exciting range of speakers today. The Chief Executive Officer of Trade and Investment KwaZulo-Natal, Mr. Nabil Machi, and he will be assisted by the Destination Marketing Manager for Trade and Investment KwaZulo-Natal, Mr. Claude Pretorius. We've got Mr. Dirk Strydom, the Manager Grain Economics and Marketing of Grain South Africa, which provides commodity strategic support and services to South African grain producers. And he will talk about their experience in working with Argentina. Then we have from the Argentine side, Mr. Martin Mariano Ventura from Bioceres Crop Solutions, one of the leading agrobiotech companies in Argentina that also has a presence in South Africa. Then we have the opportunity to listen to Mr. Carlos Pacheco from San Miguel Global Corporation, one of the leading Argentine citrus corporations with existing investments in South Africa. And the last speaker, but not the least, is Mr. Francisco Lafuente, the founder and director of Southern Hemisphere Seeds, who will talk about his experience in both countries. To all of you, welcome, and I wish you a very good webinar. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Mr. Tielman, por sus palabras. Le damos la palabra al señor Neville Magui, director ejecutivo de Trade and Investment, KwaZulo-Natal.
Good morning to our colleagues. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Neville Mackey. I'm the CEO of Trade and Investment KwaZulo-Natal. We're excited to engage as part of this webinar, and my colleague Claude Pretorius is with us this morning, and he'll be able to take you through a number of opportunities that we have from a KwaZulo-Natal perspective. But just in essence, just to indicate our excitement to have this platform, the coronavirus has taught us that even though we may be divided because of our distance, we are still very close because of the technology. So this technology has really created a great opportunity for us to engage with you in this morning session. As KwaZulo-Natal, we're the second largest economy in South Africa with an immense wealth of opportunities, particularly in the agricultural sector. We work very closely with our agricultural department in profiling a lot of our small-scale farmers, and also looking at specific crops that can actually grow within our province. From a manufacturing perspective, we are also quite strategically involved in it as part of the value chain in as far as manufacturing is concerned. And this morning session, we are quite excited about it. For us, it's afternoon. And I really want to wish everyone the best of luck, and thank you very much.
Señor Mackey, muchísimas gracias por su participación, presentación, intervención en este encuentro. Aprovechamos esta oportunidad, como decía el señor Fatter, para agradecer también a las empresas que van a compartir sus experiencias con nosotros, y aprovechamos también para comentarles que está abierto la sección de chat y Q&A para que puedan empezar a realizar consultas a los expositores. Como en todas las oportunidades, las presentaciones que se realizarán en este seminario serán enviadas una vez finalizada la jornada, y unos días después de la realización de este seminario contaremos con el video en el canal de YouTube de la Fundación, y también lo estaríamos enviando por correo electrónico. Para continuar con el programa, le damos la palabra al señor Claude Pretorius, gerente de marketing de Trade and Investment KwaZulo-Natal. Claude.
Buenos días a todos. Before I begin, I'd like to remind all our participants to please use the interpretation icon at the bottom of the screen. Can I ask Pablo to please show our video?
KwaZulo-Natal is an enticing, sophisticated, and spectacular destination. As one of South Africa's 9 provinces, it is the country's second largest economy. The ambitious future growth of the province lies primarily in its positioning as the gateway to Africa. Nowhere else in the continent is the combination of sea, land, and air logistics being more developed and optimized as it is in KwaZulo-Natal. The province boasts 2 of the largest seaports in sub-Saharan Africa: Durban Container Terminal, which has recently been widened and deepened, and Richards Bay Harbour, the country's busiest deep-water and break bulk port, and home to the privately operated Richards Bay Coal Terminal. Both ports are backed by a world-class rail and road infrastructure, giving KwaZulo-Natal a key competitive advantage. The N2 is an important corridor connecting Durban and Richards Bay, and the N3 links Durban with a double-lane artery to the bustling capital of Gauteng. When it comes to fast, agile access to global markets, King Shaka International Airport is Southern Africa's premier air logistics platform. Situated at the Durban Trade Port, this area truly prioritizes integrated air services. The province has the second highest export propensity as well as the second highest level of industrialization in the country. Toyota South Africa, the country's largest vehicle manufacturer, is located in the province, as are several major national suppliers. The ship repair, shipbuilding, and boat building industries also have a long and proud history in Durban. The province's chemical and plastic subsector is well established, versatile, and diversified. Minerals and mining are key industries in the northern areas. KwaZulo-Natal's agricultural sector boasts a wide diversity of high-quality agricultural land, and it is the country's leading producer of timber and manufacturer of timber products. KwaZulo-Natal is also striving to be a strong ICT and electronics contributor. To ensure growth and development of its wide variety of sectors, special economic zones have been identified as a conduit for economic growth. With its subtropical climate and breathtaking settings, KwaZulo-Natal is South Africa's domestic tourism leader. From its metropolitan heart in Durban, you will never be more than 3 hours away from the pristine beaches of the south, the majestic Drakensberg to the west, or the Isimangaliso Wetland Park in the north. As a place to live and work, KwaZulo-Natal offers world-class infrastructure and excellent medical, educational, social and cultural facilities. A skilled and semi-skilled labor pool also ensures that current and budding enterprises will have the right people readily available. With so many opportunities at hand, there's never been a better time to unlock the potential of KwaZulo-Natal. Trade and Investment KwaZulo-Natal, your knowledge partner in business.
Thank you very much for that, Pablo. I hope that that little introduction was able to give a little bit of insight into the broad offering of KwaZulo-Natal. Trade and Investment KwaZulo-Natal welcomes this opportunity to work with the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China Foundation and the South African Embassy in Argentina in bringing to you this series of business seminars. I'd like to state that you should please note our website, www.tikzn.ca.za, and please also note my email address, as I welcome any opportunity for questions or for further engagement after today's session. As indicated by my CEO, Mr. Neville Maiki, and also in our video, KwaZulo-Natal, though it's the third smallest province by land size, it's the second largest economy in South Africa, and it contributes more than $54.6 billion to the annual GDP of South Africa. Again, as stated in the video, we have two of Africa's busiest ports in our province, Durban and Richards Bay, collectively responsible for 65% of all containerized trade, and that excludes break bulk and other export products that go through these ports, such as minerals and grain and sugar. Air connectivity is also global, though obviously with COVID it's reduced, from King Shaka International Airport, which is just north of the city of Durban. Our ambition as a province is to be Africa's leader in export trade and become the premier destination for investment in the region. As such, Trade and Investments KwaZulo-Natal, as an investment promotion agency, provides a range of free services to all businesses, both international and local, who wish to do business in our province. I'll just broadly mention the key sectors are business retention, which many know as aftercare, and essentially works with companies in the province to make sure that they continue to produce profits. Destination marketing, which through programs such as this seeks to showcase the province and its opportunities internationally. Knowledge management, which acts as a resource for all businesses, whether international or local, who we work with, in terms of packaging the sectors, policy advocacy, and just general better business operations in the province. Our exports and development and trade promotion unit is probably one of our key units, working in terms of both developing companies, but also in creating access to international markets. And quite importantly, our investment promotion unit. In terms of our value proposition, we have identified the critical areas or the critical unique value proposition that our province has to offer. And amongst these is a very large labor force with varied skills and a very large multi-educated youth population. We have excellent transport infrastructure and especially in Africa, very good access to markets. Our entrenched value chains and also the very resilient economy makes it a great place to do business. As you saw in the video, well, lots of available land and a very good year-round quality of life. We've identified several key sectors indicated here, the 6 main sectors. But for today's session, I will focus just on the agricultural component. With our subtropical climate and year-round temperate weather, Durban is the province of KwaZulo-Natal has established opportunities in citrus and subtropical fruit, vegetables, grains, honey, and livestock. The paper, furniture, and wood product sectors are also very well developed. Food and beverage processing and packaging, with a range of products from sugarcane to livestock, to vegetables, to soya, are also available. Looking into the future, we see growth opportunities, and this is the areas where we'd like to engage with foreign business partners, investors, and traders. We've identified biofuels and biomass processing as key areas. Agricultural technology, partnering with local companies, but also new technologies. Cut flowers. As seen globally, cannabis is becoming a major opportunity. And South Africa also has a range of medicinal and herbal plants. In KwaZulo-Natal, medicinal and herbal plants have grown so much in terms of agro-processing and exports that they are now becoming larger than maize, which has always been a major product from our province. Just to wrap up, I'd like to showcase very briefly 2 of the investment-ready projects that we've worked with project promoters in the province to package. And this is just an example of the sorts of opportunities that exist in the province. The macadamia development project. This is a massive project with a proposed 10-year plan. And it's looking at converting existing blue gum forest plantations into macadamia farms. The value of this project is about $219 million US. The project is well on its way, with a detailed business plan and environmental feasibility study that has been approved and confirmed by the relevant authorities in the province. To date, 20 million rand, which is in the region of about just over $1.5 million US, has already been given in the form of a grant. And this has been used to purchase the first 70,000 trees, as well as for the installation of irrigation and fencing of the project. This is a fantastic opportunity for foreign investors, whether they wish to consider a component of this or to partner with the developers or just be investors. There are various opportunities in this. Another one, and this one provides a very exciting opportunity in our special economic zone just north of the city. And this is a cannabis cultivation and extraction project. The budget for this is $219 million US. Again, looking at a blended finance model, including both private sector and government, and the domestic and international investors. To date, the site has been selected and it will be grown in the Dube Tradeport Agri Zone, which is a subsection of the Special Economic Zone, in state-of-the-art greenhouses. And this will, I beg your pardon, state-of-the-art greenhouses, and also with access to very modern research facilities, the Agri Lab, and this business plan as well has been marketed to several development fund agencies in the province and nationally, as well as to private investors. Again, two great opportunities to consider. For potential business people, whether it's traders or buyers or investors wishing to do business in KZN, Trade and Investments in addition provides a one-stop shop service which removes red tape and makes sure that there's an easy interface with the various government departments and agencies issuing permits, licensing. We assist with visas and provide a range of investor aftercare services. I've mentioned very briefly our two special economic zones, and I won't talk much about them. Suffice to say that these provide fantastic opportunities for foreign investors in terms of investors and other support tools and initiatives that makes doing business easier, and also especially when you are looking to manufacture locally for export into the rest of Africa or internationally, some fantastic corporate tax reductions. In terms of reaching the province, the KwaZulo-Natal opened its new international airport in 2010 during the Soccer World Cup. And we've grown very quickly in terms of attracting international airlines to the province. Prior to COVID, we had the likes of British Airways, Emirates, Qatar, Turkish Airways, South African Airways, Mauritius landing in Durban. And we hope that post-COVID, we'll see a quick return as the airlines globally recover. As we know, they've all been totally decimated. In conclusion, just a word on why we believe you should visit KwaZulo-Natal. It's not just a place to do work, but also a place to relax. You can bring your family. We've got two fantastic World Heritage sites, the Drakensberg Mountains, Ukashamba Drakensberg Mountains, and then the Isimangaliso wetland. We've got more than 600 kilometers of beautiful coastline, and I think you saw some of that in the video. A range of activities and sports, land and water safaris, the Big Five, a rich culture, friendly people, great adventure outdoors, and wonderful year-round weather. I want to thank everybody for participating in today's session, and I encourage you to please Visit our website at www.tikzn.co.za and email me directly at Claude, CLAUDE, at tikzn.co.za. Thank you very much for your time.
Claude, muchas gracias por la presentación. Como en el caso anterior, obviamente que una vez que se abra y tengamos la posibilidad, todos queremos volver a Sudáfrica después de ver el video, y también muy interesante los proyectos que presentaste que se están desarrollando para el sector. Ya tenemos algunas consultas en el chat, y bueno, y en esta oportunidad tenemos en la sección de casos de éxito a cuatro expositores que nos van a brindar la información de los negocios que ya están desarrollando entre Sudáfrica y Argentina, y que creemos que bueno, son de gran utilidad y que sirven mucho para alentar a otros para que se animen. Vamos a comenzar con Dirk Stridrom, gerente de Economía y Marketing de Granos, Manager Grain de Economics and Marketing de Grain South Africa. Dirk? Can you hear us?
Hello, I can hear you guys.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you as well. Yeah, and thank you for this initiatives as well. I'm just going to share my presentation with all of you. If you can give me a second, and I just open it up for us. Yeah, thank you very much. I hope everyone can see my presentation. Yeah, so this is basically to talk about what is opportunities that have already prevailed and that started to have some fruits in the industry as well, between the collaborations between Argentina and South Africa. So yeah, as mentioned, I'm from Grain South Africa, which is a producer organization focusing on producers. And we also have an agriculture show called NAMPU, which is a very large show, attracting more or less 80,000 people a year, and close to 750 exhibitors each year. And that's where the partnership began, but it spread out to agriculture as well. So obviously with COVID, unfortunately, we couldn't do our show because of all the regulations. So we needed to cancel it for a second year. So hopefully next year we can get again together everyone on one place and showcase what agriculture is all about. So this is just a picture in terms of what the show looks like. Like you see, it's on a farm, quite large, and really a big showcase of agriculture and international agriculture as well. The second part is there.
Sorry to interrupt you. We can see your presentation, but if you can put in a slideshow, it will be bigger. I mean, the image will become bigger. I don't know if you can do it. If not, it's right. Okay. But maybe then for the video, it will be much better. Sorry to interrupt you.
100%, is that better?
Ah, that's great. Excellent. Thank you very much.
All right. All right. So yeah, so there where the red circle are in the photo, that is where the Argentinian pavilion is situated in the show. And that's where we showcase all the Argentinian products and all the Argentinian technology. So if I get to the next slide, this is what the Argentinian pavilion looks like. Every year we're very excited to host the Argentinian companies and to have them part of our show. So where our partnership started it started with Expo Agro, that exhibited from 2010 till present at Nampo Harvest Day. They normally bring about annually 30 to 50 Argentinian agriculture companies to exhibit at Nampo. On the 19th of May 2010, we signed a cooperation agreement between ourselves and Expo Agro, to promote the exhibitions between the two countries. Yeah, so this includes a presence at both of the two shows. It's a presence in terms of advertisements in the different catalogs both of the two shows have. And then obviously we try to visit one another's show on a constant basis as well. This is just a photo to show some of the products that is exhibited at the show, and you can see a lot of discussions taking place between South Africans and Argentinians. I think the biggest thing for me that came out of this is the spillover effect that came to agriculture as well. And what happened is, beyond the exhibitions, we also arranged what we call farmer development or farmer exhibition days. And what happened is in South Africa, we were not big on conservation agriculture as big as Argentinians. And what happened is we established a collaboration where some of this conservation agriculture technology came into South Africa, and then we hosted farmer days explaining what conservation agriculture is all about and how it works. But further from that, we also the researchers work together as well. You could see here Dr. Hendrik Smit, which is a conservation agriculturist at our institute that's also working with some of the Argentinian guys and doing trials and testing some of the technology in South Africa as well. So that had a big spillover effect, and we have a big focus on conservation agriculture now in South Africa, and where the Argentinians played a very large role as well. So in terms of information, if you want more information, you're more than willing to, you're more than, you can visit our website specifically for our agriculture magazine, the SA Grain Mag. And in the SA Grain Mag, you can just in the search type Argentinian, and you'll get all the articles that we've written out of this as well. So a lot of spillover effects, not just from exhibition side, but also into a primary agriculture side. The next side, the part that I want to focus a bit on is what is the future possibilities we look at, and what can be the possibilities going forward. So what we've seen in South Africa is with open pollinated crops. Open pollinated crops, we all know you can hold back seed. You can have farm retention seed, and this farm retention seed is not always a big return on investment for seed companies. So after a lot of years, we said, let's provide the opportunity for farmers to still do retainment of seed, but that we put up a program that provides investment for the companies as well. So what we did together with the seed companies and producers in South Africa is we established a non-profit organization called the South African Technology Agency, in short SACTA. And what we've established is we've established an endpoint royalty system. So basically what happens is with every seed that's delivered, there is by law a deduction of a levy. And then at the end of the season, after collecting all these levies, which is basically the royalties, when we collect those royalties, we distribute it back to the seed companies based on their market share in the market. So it's also a performance system. The companies that performs better and get a bigger market share is also the companies that will obtain a better retainment after the season as well. So that is a bit of an incentive to get more companies in South Africa to invest in seed technology here, and to make sure that companies in terms of open pollinated crops get their return on investment as well when they come here. So the biggest ones that I want to specifically focus on today is wheat and soybeans. Those are the two main crops that we started this levy with. So wheat, we always want to increase wheat production in South Africa. We are a net importer of wheat, and we've got a lot of possibilities for the wheat industry. In South Africa, we had for a lot of years a big focus on quality of wheat and not necessarily the yield, because there's an inverse between quality and yield. And now we're trying to tip up the scales again to make sure that we obtain the yields, but that we still have a competitiveness in terms of our quality in the wheat as well. So what we've seen since we had this program is a lot new companies coming into South Africa, investing in seed production, investing in new cultivars, and hopefully we can increase the yields in South Africa to a standard where it makes it more profitable to locally produce wheat. On the soybean market is a very interesting market. I've put up a graph here for everyone to see, and you can see when we, in 2009, the production was very low. It was more or less in an order of close to 600,000 tons. We've grown that production substantially, and we're now producing far beyond 1.6 million tons in this small period of time. So the soybean market expanded quite dramatically, and with the soybean, with the technology agency that we've put in, the SACTA agency, is we see that there's a lot of new companies coming into South Africa. Don Mario playing a large role now in South Africa, and I think there's a big space for companies to come and contribute even more in the future. And with this system, with the retainment system and the levy system, we're creating a place where you guarantee that if you do the investment here, you can get the return on investment back. It won't be lost in terms of retainment of seed. And I think that the second thing that's very important is that we made it part of a statutory measure, which is basically regulation in South Africa. So yeah, in this segment of the industry, I think there's still a lot of growth that can happen, and I think a lot of opportunities for Argentinian companies to play a role in and to put down their stamp in South Africa. We all know the Argentinians know about soybeans, and they know how to plant soybeans and to grow them as well. So Argentinians are far ahead in terms of that, and that's why I think there's a lot of opportunities given this system. The second part is it's a bit of a piece that I've put out from an article that was written in the SA Grain magazine, and this was a student that looked at what is the adoption rate of South African farmers in terms of technology, and you could see in the sample 65% of the farmers were really focusing on adopting technology, and when he compared it to the rest of the world, the conclusion out of his studies was that South Africa is one of the countries that's got a higher tendency in terms of adoption of technology. And this is broadly based because our margins are so thin in South Africa that we need to increase efficiencies, and that we're all about efficiencies, and technology plays a very large role in it. And that's where I see an opportunity in South Africa in the agriculture industry, where there's a lot of opportunities for new technology in South Africa, and the producers are willing to adopt these new technologies as well. So yeah, in light of that, there's a lot of things that can happen in agriculture, and I think that's created new spaces for investment as well. This is some of the linkages to the sources in terms of what I've just spoken about. So you're more than welcome to go and visit those sources as well, and to explore more. Yeah, and we're really looking forward in terms of agriculture. We think agriculture is a big part of our country. It's a part of our country's culture, but it's also part that's keeping our economy stable. We've seen the last few years, and specifically the last year, the economic growth side that the agriculture supported in. And we believe really that agriculture is the principle of our country, and also making sure our country is one of the leading in Africa, and also hopefully in the world if we look at maize production and these type of crops. I won't compare soybeans with Argentinian because we're only a small player in the soybean market. So for that, thank you very much for hosting this webinar. And you're more than welcome to contact me if you've got questions and for further collaboration. So thank you very much.
Mr. Stridrom, thank you very much for your presentation. I saw in your presentation the pictures of ICBC. We have been supporting this event for many years, and we hope that maybe this year or next year we can return to South Africa with these Argentine companies that has a lot to offer, and they are doing very good businesses there. And maybe we can include more companies in our stand, because we work together with the agency and also with the South African embassy here in Argentina. So thank you very much for the information that you share with us. We also want to remember that we are going to send these presentations to everybody by email. So we are going to follow with the program. Vamos a seguir con el programa. El segundo expositor de esta sección de casos de éxito es Martín Mariani Ventura, gerente general de Verdeca y gerente de Biox Global Seed. Martín.
Buen día, good morning, good afternoon for everyone. So I will try to make the presentation in English. That I think that it's better for the assistance. Let me check. I will put here. Are you seeing the screen?
Yes, we can see. We can see the presentation.
Perfect. Well, thanks. First of all, thanks for the opportunity to share this in this activity. I think that it's pretty useful for us to share what we are doing and what we have done in the last couple of years in the interaction between Argentina and South Africa from our side. So Bioceres it's an Argentinian company. It's a company that was established in 2001 in the middle of the Argentina economic crisis, where a group of farmers decided to build a company to support different kind of projects that were under the public institution development. So the majority of the growers that decided to create Bioceres at that time were related with the Argentinian No-Till Association, something that Dirk just mentioned in his presentation. So the spirit of our company started as a group of farmers looking for a better way to produce food for the world. So nowadays, Bioceres was growing in the last almost 15 years, almost 20 years. Now Bioceres is one of the Argentinian public companies that is his presence in the Nasdaq stock exchange in the US, and our main statement is that we are a fully integrated company that offer different technologies in order to try to help the transition of the agriculture toward a carbon neutrality. So what we are doing in general terms and in different kind of projects that we have is try to connect the growers and the way that we produce food with the consumers that are at the end of the day who will are saying or trying to define what they want, what information they need, and what kind of food they want to eat. So our biotech story is related in between growers and consumers. As I mentioned, we have a different kind of projects worldwide, and probably you will see that we have a lot of companies because Bioceres used to work with different collaboration worldwide with the public and private institutions. So nowadays, one snapshot of what is the size of Bioceres. We have in last year we reached roughly 180 million in revenues. We have a strong leadership in the soybean seed treatment biological product for the soybeans. We have the the first company to achieve a drought tolerance technology for wheat and soybeans worldwide. We have 9 subsidiaries. One of our subsidiaries is in South Africa. We have a lot of different products and patents and trademarks. But just to summarize, our R&D pipeline is mainly focused in developing biological products that improve the crop performance, trying to reduce the impact in the environment where we are producing food. So our different lines of products are mainly with biotechnology traits, biofungicides, biostimulants, inoculants. We also have breeding program for soybean and wheat, and also adjuvants and micro fertilizers. In the bottom of the slide, you can see the different brands or the different companies. So besides that, all are under the umbrella of Bioceres Crop Solutions. Each kind of business that the company have is related with different companies. So Rhizobacter is our company that is more related with all the seed treatment and biologicals and biostimulant products. Then we have Bioceres Semillas or Bioceres Seed, which is the company that is for us the go-to market to bring our soybean and wheat varieties to the growers. And Trigal and Verdeca are the companies where we develop technologies for wheat and soybeans. Our main product I will share with you, but it's the HB4 technology, which is the drought tolerant technology. So if we need to split in some way what is our portfolio, it's a pretty way to summarize. We have a lot of products, but it's to give you an idea. We also identify in 3 main aspects. One is the crop protection, where we have, as I mentioned, adjuvants and insecticides and fungicides, and all of these are related with Rhizobacter company. Then we have the crop nutrition side that is refers to the inoculant mainly for soybeans and biofertilizers and micro-based fertilizers that are supporting all the production and our business worldwide. And then we have the specific part of biotech and, as I mentioned, and breeding that is more related with Verdeca and Trigal. So for the company, Rhizobacter is the company that is have the more strong presence worldwide with commercial products. So our main product nowadays and our focus, all the main focus of the company is based in HB4. HB4 is it's a trait, it's a biotechnology development that brings to or allows soybean and wheat mainly support or produce better in a abiotic stress or drought stress condition. So nowadays this is our main project, and we are working worldwide to land this technology in wheat and in soybeans. After different years of trialing, and also nowadays in Argentina, we are in the pre-commercial stage, building inventories, and we are close to launch this technology to the market, where we saw difference in yield around 13% in soybeans when you compare commercial checks or close related varieties with and without the technology. And also in the case of wheat, we almost reached 20% of yield difference between HB4 wheat and commercial lines or control lines or rice lines. And we know, according and related with the Grain SA previous presentation, is that we think that this technology could bring a lot of opportunities for South Africa and for different collaborations that we already have in South Africa. So for us, South Africa is pretty important. It's with Rhizobacter, we have that more than 10 years of presence there. As I mentioned, we have one of the 9 affiliates that we have from Rhizobacter is based in South Africa, in Pretoria. We are leaders in biological and inoculant segment in South Africa. We are having a nationwide distribution there, and we are commercializing more than 20 products, and the idea is to continue to bring the new products to South Africa growers. So also related with that, and with the previous, also linked with the previous presentation, through Bioceres seeds or Bioceres semillas, we were testing varieties from the last 10 years. We also, one of the panelists that we will present after me, Francisco de la Fuente of SHS Seeds, is one of our partners that we are working together in South Africa to bring germoplasm from Argentina and try to select and adapt these lines to South Africa environments. And also, as I mentioned before, HB4 for us is our main project nowadays and related with biotechnology, and we are pretty confident that HB4 will bring to South Africa goals a big support, because due to the South Africa farming conditions, HB4 will bring value to the growers and of course for the country, and we are, as I mentioned, confident that this technology will allow to South African growers to increase the production and the yield and of course the value for the whole country. Nowadays, we are working in the regulatory, as you probably know, to launch a new trait or a new technology in a country. You need to fulfill different requirements regarding the safety of the product. So we are going and we are working on that with local partners there. We are also pursuing to start this year field trials with our technology, to start to evaluate our technology in the South Africa environment, and at the same time we are developing varieties. Of course, this and our definition and our enforcement to move forward with this technology in South Africa is also pretty related with something that Dirk commented, related with the levy, because for the companies that develop technologies and also varieties, it's pretty important to have a legal framework that could allow us to recover our investment in the development of technology. So just to confirm that we are, for us, South Africa is a pretty important gateway to Africa, to other countries, and we are putting our major efforts in bring all the products and all the technology that we develop in Argentina, because another important thing is that HB4 is a technology that was developed for a group of researchers that belong to the public institution. So this is a technology that was discovered by a group of researchers that belong to the Argentinian Research Commission. So that is an important example where we could interact between public and private entities to bring solutions to farmers, consumers, and of course to bring more value to all the whole channel, the food channel. So that is more or less what we wanted to share with you. We are open to have questions, or there is our contact information. So we'll feel free to contact me and ask what you want to know.
Martín, muchas gracias por la presentación. Bueno, muy completa uno de los puntos importantes a destacar, que bueno, una de las cosas que me quedó ahí, que empezaron todo este negocio en el 2001, ¿no? Sin lugar a dudas, un desafío enorme y también en un mercado, digamos, que todavía para algunos suena como exótico, aunque no lo es, y hay muchas más empresas de las que se imaginan trabajando en este sector con muy buenos resultados, y utilizando Sudáfrica como la puerta de ingreso a África, que brinda oportunidades enormes para las empresas argentinas de varios sectores. Así que muchísimas gracias por la presentación y por tu tiempo. Y para continuar con el programa, le vamos a dar la palabra a Carlos Pacheco, gerente global de Supply Chain en San Miguel. Carlos, ¿nos escuchás?
Sí.
Excelente. Ahí se ve la presentación.
Ahí se ve.
Perfecto. Gracias.
Bueno, muchas gracias por el espacio. Muy buenos días para todos los que están en Argentina. Buenas tardes para los que están en Sudáfrica. Bueno, yo soy Carlos Pacheco, soy gerente global de Supply Chain para San Miguel. En San Miguel, algo que nos gusta decir es que estamos orgullosos de crear valor desde la naturaleza. Todo lo que hacemos sale de los árboles. Somos una empresa líder del hemisferio sur en producción de cítricos y todo lo hacemos en total armonía con el medio ambiente. Tenemos alrededor de 8.300 hectáreas plantadas en distintos lugares del mundo. Arrancó siendo una empresa argentina en Tucumán, una provincia del norte de Argentina, que luego fue creciendo y expandiéndose a otros lugares del mundo. Y hoy tenemos producción también en Uruguay, en Sudáfrica y en Perú. Y aparte de toda la tierra que tenemos plantada con hectáreas propias para producción de cítricos y otras frutas, también tenemos un montón de hectáreas en preservación de la naturaleza. Por ejemplo, en Argentina, el 60% de las tierras se mantienen agrestes para el desarrollo de la fauna y la flora. El liderazgo que tenemos en cítricos y que teníamos en Argentina nos permitió crecer hacia otras variedades y hacia otros productos. Aparte de la producción de limón, que es el producto principal y el que dio origen a la compañía, producimos también mandarinas, naranja, palta, uva, y tenemos un portfolio muy diverso de ingredientes naturales que son alimentos procesados a partir de las frutas originales, principalmente del negocio de limón, pero también de mandarina y de naranja. El sistema San Miguel, como les contaba anteriormente, son 8.300 hectáreas plantadas en los 4 orígenes mencionados. Tenemos 5 plantas de empaque, 3 plantas de procesamiento de fruta, en joint business en algunos casos, ¿no? En algunos casos son fruta propia y plantas propias, como en Argentina, en otros casos es un joint venture con otras compañías. Más de 85 campos administrados por San Miguel, una facturación de 247 millones de dólares. Procesamos el 13,8% del limón del mundo. Y en el negocio de fruta, en el negocio de limón, que es nuestro principal producto, abastecemos el 10,6% del share del mundo. Con nuestros productos de ingredientes naturales, estamos presentes en casi 300 productos de consumo masivo. Por eso nos gusta decir que somos parte de la vida diaria de las familias. Compramos alrededor de 147 millones de dólares a más de 2.000 distintos proveedores. Dentro de estos 2.000 están los proveedores de materiales y de todos los insumos que utilizamos para nuestra producción, y también productores estratégicos que tenemos en los distintos lugares del mundo. Somos alrededor de 5.700 colaboradores, que en pico de campaña llegan a ser casi 10.000 empleados entre los 4 orígenes. Tenemos 2 negocios complementarios. Por un lado está el negocio de fruta fresca, en donde que es el 70% del volumen. Originalmente el 100% era limón, pero hoy el limón pesa un 35%. Ha crecido fuertemente el desarrollo de fruta dulce, dentro de la cual está la mandarina, la naranja, junto con la adquisición de la operación en Perú, vino la palta y la uva como complemento a todo el negocio de cítricos. Toda esta unidad de negocios está abocada a las grandes cadenas de supermercados. Con las grandes cadenas de supermercados buscamos abastecer programas comerciales a contraestación del abastecimiento que reciben del hemisferio norte durante el resto del año. En el caso de ingredientes naturales, Argentina procesa el 60% del limón del mundo, dentro del cual nosotros tenemos una gran participación y nosotros abastecemos, como decía anteriormente, el 13,8%. Dentro de ello, nuestros clientes son grandes compañías de bebidas, grandes compañías de fragancias. El 43% de los productos que salen de esta unidad de negocio es el aceite. Tenemos un 42% de jugo y un 15% de otros, donde lo principal es la cáscara que se utiliza para la pectina. El poder tener múltiples orígenes y una plataforma de distribución muy relevante nos permite abastecer casi 300 clientes en más de 60 países alrededor del mundo. Esto es algo que nosotros, es una característica muy relevante y que lo que nos permite es mitigar el riesgo que tenemos en cada uno de los países y reducir la volatilidad que tiene el abastecimiento a nuestros clientes por problemas que puedan ocurrir en un lugar u otro. También nos permite la presencia en distintos países abrir nuevos mercados, ya sea por los protocolos que nos exigen algunos países en particular y la apertura que pueda tener un país hacia otro en cuanto al desarrollo del negocio, como también la cercanía o la eficiencia en la distribución, ¿no? El tener, por ejemplo, desde Sudáfrica, mayor cercanía con todo lo que es el Middle East y el Far East, que nos permite abastecerlo de una manera mucho más eficiente que a contrapartida, por ejemplo, desde Argentina. Y en viceversa, digamos, desde Perú es un punto muy cercano a Estados Unidos, que es otro de los grandes mercados en los cuales estamos. Y a Europa, obviamente, abastecido desde todos los lugares donde estamos. Otra de las cosas que nos permite este múltiple origen es poder aprender las mejores prácticas que se hacen en cada uno de los países y replicarlas en el resto. Y esto lo hacemos también en conjunto con nuestros clientes, porque mucho de lo que nosotros intentamos desarrollar es con una perspectiva de largo plazo. Nuestra historia en Sudáfrica. Nuestra historia en Sudáfrica es un caso para nosotros que nos llena de orgullo. Nosotros llegamos a Sudáfrica en el 2008, arrancamos con un joint business, con un joint venture con una compañía productora de Sudáfrica, en un primer campo haciendo una prueba, y en el 2011 establecimos las primeras oficinas comerciales. Desde entonces, el negocio en Sudáfrica no ha parado de crecer. A partir de ahí hemos compartido todo nuestro aprendizaje y nuestra experiencia que ya veníamos desarrollando en Argentina y en Uruguay. Por ejemplo, muestra de ello es el joint venture que también hicimos con otros productores y la compra de la planta de Benco, que es una planta de molienda que hay en Sudáfrica desde el 2013. En Argentina, como les comentaba, Argentina muele el 60% del limón del mundo. Toda esa experiencia fue trasladada a Sudáfrica a partir de la compra de Benco y es un negocio que va creciendo año a año. A su vez, el negocio en sí de Sudáfrica crece y estando hoy en una producción de 87.000 toneladas de fruta, que es algo así cercano como el 40% del volumen que abastecemos desde San Miguel. En el 2018, San Miguel tomó la decisión también de crear la compañía que finalmente se terminó firmando en enero del 2019 de Tudana Citrus. Tudana es una compañía que forma parte del programa de integración que lanzó el gobierno sudafricano para poder beneficiar a sectores que han sido desfavorecidos en Sudáfrica durante los últimos años. Entonces esto es una compañía que ahora después les contaré más en detalle, que es algo que también fue muy relevante para el negocio en Sudáfrica. La operación en Sudáfrica, como les comentaba, es enorme. No ha parado de crecer desde aquella primera oficina comercial en el 2011. Hoy tenemos 6 campos, más de 1000 hectáreas plantadas con limones, mandarina, naranja y pomelos. El packing nuestro entrega 660 toneladas por día en distintos empaques que tenemos. El volumen exportado en el 2020 fue de casi 87.000 toneladas. Y algo muy relevante que hay en Sudáfrica es el desarrollo de los SPS, que son los Strategic Partners que tenemos en Sudáfrica, alrededor de 30 growers, con el cual tenemos un negocio conjunto. Desde el lado de ingredientes naturales, que es la otra unidad de negocio, está la planta de procesamiento de Benco, que como les comentaba es un joint venture que hicimos con otros productores de Sudáfrica, para utilizar lo que anteriormente era utilizado como descarte y generar mayor eficiencia, no solo para nosotros, sino también para todos los productores de Sudáfrica. Tudana, como les comentaba anteriormente, es una empresa en la cual San Miguel tomó la decisión de que el 30% de crear esto junto con empleados y un grupo privado de inversor como parte del programa del Black Economic Empowerment del gobierno sudafricano. Esto es darle a 120 empleados las acciones del 30% de la compañía. Estos 120 empleados, a su vez, han nombrado 2 de ellos que forman parte del board de dirección de la compañía. Esto es algo que es un proceso ongoing, que año a año va creciendo, que es muy reciente para nosotros, pero que hoy ya tiene los 2 empaques, más de 400 hectáreas de cítricos. La empresa está a cargo de la venta de todo el negocio local en Sudáfrica. A su vez, esta misma compañía brinda servicios y maquinarias que utilizamos en todo el sector agrícola. Tiene 170 empleados de manera permanente y llega a casi 2000 durante la campaña. El ingreso a Sudáfrica, a San Miguel, le dio principalmente el acceso a nuevos mercados y a ventanas comerciales específicas. Muy relevante para el negocio del UK, del norte de Europa, de Far East y de Middle East. A su vez, nos permitió ampliar el portfolio de productos. San Miguel pasó de ser la empresa líder de limón a ser líder de cítricos. Hay un liderazgo muy relevante por parte de San Miguel Sudáfrica en el negocio de las naranjas, pero también un volumen muy importante que nos complementa en limones y en mandarinas. Y Sudáfrica es muy competitivo en el mundo, principalmente por tema de costos, por tema de logística, por la cercanía que tienen los campos a los puertos. Esto es también un desafío enorme, ¿no? En Sudáfrica hay un montón de cuestiones relevantes con los puertos, con las marítimas. La verdad que el negocio en Sudáfrica ha crecido, el negocio de citrícola en Sudáfrica ha crecido enormemente. Arrancó siendo un volumen muy chico, solo para usar el ejemplo de limones. En los últimos 3 años se ha multiplicado casi al doble. Y tiene un montón de plantas jóvenes por dar un montón de fruta hacia adelante, y es una de las principales fuentes de trabajo en muchas comunidades en las cuales San Miguel está presente. A su vez, el producto tiene una calidad excelente y el know-how que hay en los campos es muy relevante para el desarrollo del mismo. En San Miguel estamos muy contentos con ser parte del mundo en el que estamos, en las comunidades con las que trabajamos y en todas las familias, está presente en los productos que reciben todas nuestras familias.
Carlos, muchas gracias por la presentación. Bueno, hay varias ideas para destacar, ¿no? De la integración que ustedes desarrollaron. Es un caso que siempre, digamos, siempre tomamos como ejemplo este tema de mitigar el riesgo a través de la integración, reducir la volatilidad de los mercados, incorporar nuevos productos, ¿no? Mover las ventajas competitivas, comparativas, en forma mucho más flexible a través de todo lo que, la estructura que ustedes han desarrollado, ¿no? Y es importante también, me pareció muy interesante cómo fuiste mostrando el proceso de integración que se dio, y también otra figura que se destacó, que creo que eso es lo que nosotros queremos promover, esta posibilidad de desarrollar socios estratégicos, ¿no? A veces se piensa que hay competencia, digamos que en realidad la producción de Argentina y Sudáfrica son competencia, pero en realidad hay mucha complementariedad, y también la posibilidad de acceder a otros mercados que a veces desde Argentina, por cuestiones de logística, de aranceles, es un poco más difícil. Así que San Miguel es el caso, digamos, o uno de los casos que siempre tratamos de mostrar a las empresas que también en otros rubros y con otros productos tienen posibilidades. Así que te agradecemos mucho el tiempo y la presentación. Y bueno, para continuar con el último expositor de esta...
Muchísimas gracias a vos, perdón Emma por la invitación y por todo, y coincido, la verdad que para nosotros es una experiencia excelente el haber hecho la apertura del mercado de sudafricano, y como te dije, ¿no? Año a año crece y es sorprendente.
Sí.
Lo decían anteriormente, no hay que tenerle miedo a hacer negocios con Sudáfrica, que realmente, por lo menos en nuestro caso, fue un caso realmente exitoso. Muchas gracias.
No, por favor. Y una cosa más que también destaco, que es muy interesante, es el tema de la integración de la gente, ¿no? Que en este sector, digamos, los sectores rurales y en este tipo de producciones es fundamental, porque son un factor clave para el éxito del negocio. Entonces es muy interesante eso, digamos, cómo ustedes lo desarrollaron y también cómo lo muestran, y con la calidez que lo muestran en las presentaciones. Eso quería destacar también.
Sí, es que realmente lo vivimos de esa forma, ¿no?
Se
por eso yo quería contarlo de esa forma, ¿no? Del orgullo que sentimos por el medio ambiente y las comunidades. Las dos cosas son cosas realmente relevantes para nosotros, y en todo lo que hacemos tratamos de pensar siempre en la sustentabilidad del negocio y el impacto que puede tener en las comunidades y el medio ambiente, con la perspectiva siempre en el futuro.
Muchísimas gracias, Carlos, por el tiempo y por la presentación.
Muchas gracias a ustedes.
Y bueno, para continuar con este módulo, le damos la palabra a Francisco Lafuente, fundador, director en Southern Hemisphere Seeds. Francisco, ¿estás por ahí?
Ahí voy. Ok, hola, buenos días a todos. Good afternoon to everyone. I will do my presentation in English. Let me start sharing my screen so we can all see what I'm going to try to show you. Is it showing now?
Yes, you have to put in the...
There we are.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, thank you very much, ICBC and KwaZulo-Natal Trade for inviting me today to present my case here with all of you. My situation is a little bit different from the previous two cases because as an individual, I moved to South Africa in 2007 and started working there. And I started a company in South Africa with South African partners. And afterwards, I came back from South Africa to Argentina with the project and started the project in Argentina. So it's kind of a mixture where we are sitting today. A little bit of the history is that I moved to South Africa to start working in soybeans production. You know, when I arrived, as correctly Mr. Stridham pointed out, South Africa in 2007 was producing only 350,000 tons of soybean as a crop, and it didn't have any capacity. So I joined the Russell Stone Group, and we started a fund there where we had to start everything from scratch because there was very little technology and know-how on how to develop this crop. So we wanted and we had to integrate all the value chain from production, planters, tractors, fertilizers, everything from scratch. And today we can say that part of the 2 million tons, almost 2 million tons that South Africa is producing of soybeans had to do a lot with what we've been doing in the last 15 years in the South African environment. So the journey starts, that's why we like to call Southern Hemisphere Seeds that a company that was created by farmers, for the farmers, and to the farmers. This concept is the one that drove our initiatives since 2010 when we started thinking this project. So today, Southern Hemisphere Seeds is consolidated as a seed company focusing in soybean developments. We were born looking for the right cultivars for South Africa with a new technology. When we were there were no indeterminate cultivars that could be planted because everything was determinate. So we were applying state-of-the-art technologies to cultivars that were 20 years old. And so we had to change that picture, and we started testing a lot of new cultivars and finding the right ones and bringing them to South Africa. So we had to import cultivars and licensed cultivars all over Argentina. So that's how we started. The Russell Stone Group was my employer in the first stage, and together we started Southern Hemisphere Seeds. Our first cultivars were released in 2013, and today we have a comprehensive portfolio covering all areas of South Africa with extremely good cultivars for everyone. In 2013, I was invited by SA Grain to start with the discussions of this new SACTA levy that Mr. Pretorius explained. It was an interesting journey. After 7 years, and after 7 years, we can say that we have a successful scheme where everyone is happy to work with. So this is how this company was developed. And where are we now? We are in a second stage where we started this new company in 2018, where we started to live our vision and going back to farming. So Farm Yield is a company subsidiary of Southern Hemisphere Seeds, where we are acquiring farms and revamping them and producing soybeans and other crops within, and everything is managed the way that we like as a fund manager, using economies of scales and the latest of the technologies. This new company allowed us to raise some funds. These funds that are funding Farm Yield are funds from people from Argentina and from South Africa. So it's a joint venture between partners of both sides of the ocean. And we are there with this company, unlocked a lot of potential for us to start growing on our portfolio, new crops and other type of developments. And today we are farming, we have 600 hectares of our own that we are farming with our products. As part of this new strategic view, we launched Southern Hemisphere Seeds Argentina in the pandemic year in 2020. There's never a good time to start a new company, so we decided to start it last year. Well, what we are doing is we are using the opportunities that Argentina brings when it comes to size of market. We are comparing South Africa that plants 1 million hectares of soyas, and Argentina plants almost 20. So we are using Argentina as our kitchen or our producer of new technology, and we are working already with all the technologies that will be released in South Africa soon. This gives us a new edge in what we want to achieve as farmers and as a seed company, and we will be producing our own cultivars together with our strategic partners like Bioceres that we are working already since 2014 with the testing and development of new soybean cultivars. All in all, we are focusing on bringing the best solutions for the farmers in the different areas. This company, I must say, well, we started all these developments in the province of KwaZulo-Natal that has one of the best areas for the production of soyas and for the application of technologies like no-till and precision fertilization and precision planting. So we started there in the north of KwaZulo-Natal. So I had the privilege of knowing very well all the area that was shown in that video that Mr. Mackey showed us. So this is our portfolio, part of our portfolio today, where we have the three leading soyas of the South African market, and on our pipeline we are waiting for the new liberation of the Intacta biotechnology that will allow us to bring in the new set of top of the range cultivars that we are sourcing mainly from Bioceres with this new technology that has insect resistance. We are also working in a new range for African countries, where we are working with non-GMO cultivars that will allow us to start getting presence in those markets. Okay, so as Florencia asked me in this presentation, I will share with you a little bit of my experience from within South Africa, of my journey and my challenges and opportunities that I found in South Africa during all this time. I've been living there in South Africa. I lived in South Africa for almost 7 years, and I'm commuting every second or third month when I could. So it is, I feel part South Africa, and I know I learned to understand mostly all of the things that you need to get a successful business running there. So if I have to put today the opportunities that you find in South Africa, the first one I would say it's easy to start a company. We come from a country that we have Roman law. We invented bureaucracy so for each idea we need 75 million papers, and here in South Africa you just go, you buy a shelf company, and in 5 minutes you have a company up and running. So that part is fantastically easy, and it surprises you with your Latin mindset of how easy it is to start a project. No, and now you have the project. What to do with that? It's another history. I would say that the second biggest pro of South Africa is that with the right the right structure, you have access to credit immediately. This credit is really a competitive credit that will allow you to start bridging your first steps, where you are putting a lot of capital in, and will help you to have your business running soon. Third opportunity is technology. South Africa, as Mr. Tillman put, and also Mr. Stryden put, South Africa adopts technology immediately, and every technology is available there. The infrastructure is quite good, and you can have access to whatever you need to start your business quite quickly. Another thing that was pointed out by Tillman is that the compatible culture that we have with South Africa, I, as an Argentinian, never felt any discrimination or any bad attitude towards where I was coming from. So that helped a lot, and helps a lot at the time when you arrive, being welcome and friendly welcome. It is a pleasure. And also, well, in the farming sector, all the farmers in the world, we complain about the same and have the same issues, and that immediately rugby and sports and soccer and everything builds immediately a relationship with South African culture and also the meat. We are both countries very fond of our asado and braais, and that, I think, it's a pot where you could interact immediately and build relationships very easy. As the main challenges that I would point out, and the first one that I hit my face to the wall 1,000 times, is the soil and the climatic conditions. We come from Argentina, where these two conditions are a given, and when you arrive into South Africa, whoa, man, the complexities that you find there are very challenging. We had to adapt very much our mindset, our practices, and the Argentinian farming culture against those hostile, to say the least, conditions that you find in South Africa. It was a big learning curve that took us like 3 years to find the right cultivars to be planted in the different areas. But once you bridge that, you start growing. And if you see in what the slide that was shown by SA Grain, the yields are growing, and we are finding a way to get better production under more challenging conditions, that they are getting tougher with this climatic change. Then the challenge is the trade barriers. It was mentioned by Emma also. The Europeans have a big advantage, and we suffered that just on bringing equipment. I had to pay levies that if I would have imported from Europe the same machinery, I would have paid nothing. So that's challenging for starting all these processes, and expensive, and in oil, in nuts and everything. We are always in the disadvantage. So this south collaboration sometimes gets difficult when you arrive with your product at the ports into South Africa. The other thing that we found very difficult here in Argentina, we have a very big base of human resources, agriculture engineers, independent, that gives consultancy and extension services. That is not to be found in South Africa, and you end up locked with what the input suppliers have make available to you, that it is in the end a commercial call, and it is difficult to get for farmers that know nothing about a crop or want to start in new productions. There's not too much available of independent sources of information. The political environment, well, it is something, we come from Argentina, so I'm not surprised about South Africa, but it is something that we need to see always, and it's something of concern when you try to raise funds to invest in South Africa. And it is very important to have a very well knowledgeable guy that knows in-depth the political comings and goings of South Africa to be sure where you put your investment. And last but not least, cultural mismatches. South Africa, every 10 kilometers, you have a new culture arising, and you need to know them all. They are very interesting, but they are very challenging also. We are Latins, and there's no Latins in South Africa. So our mindset is not comparable to any of the individuals, except the Giovanni restaurant in Pretoria. Then the rest is some culture that you need to learn, need to respect, need to interact with, and start looking for edges where you can start building from there. So this would be more or less all my presentation. Thank you very much for listening, and I'm open to whatever questions that may arise. Thank you.
Francisco, muchas gracias por compartir la experiencia. Bueno, creo que estas 4 presentaciones, y también lo mencionaste en tu discurso, ¿no? Que, digamos, los 4 empezaron de manera diferente, ¿no? No solamente enfocados en productos, sino también en servicios, que creo que también es donde Argentina tiene una gran oportunidad. Esta cuestión de la flexibilidad que a veces se requieren en mercados con estas características, creo que es una ventaja y una fortaleza que tenemos los argentinos por el mercado en el cual nos desarrollamos, que quizás a veces para europeos o gente de otros países es más complejo, pero la flexibilidad que tenemos nosotros para adaptarnos a distintas situaciones, a distintas culturas, es una ventaja comparativa por demás interesante. Y también destacar esto que comentabas, que bueno, hay, dependiendo de las distintas formas, ¿no? Cómo fueron haciendo la evolución del desarrollo de la empresa, y también la selección y la elección de un partner. Esto también comentabas, el commute, el ir y venir es muy importante, tener presencia en los mercados, más allá de que hoy las tecnologías nos brindan la posibilidad de estar comunicados, pero la gente nos quiere ver, tenemos que tener reuniones presenciales, hay que viajar, hay que estar, y eso también requiere de una decisión personal y empresaria a la hora de plantear hacer un negocio. Así que creo que bueno, con estas 4 experiencias tuvimos un pantallazo por demás interesante, y también lo que hacen las experiencias de ustedes es le brinda la posibilidad a otros de ver que sí es posible, ¿no? Que si hay otros que lo hicieron, ¿por qué nosotros no? Teniendo en cuenta que el tiempo es un poco limitado en todas estas actividades que hacemos, le vamos a dar la palabra a Mr. Thielman para cerrar este encuentro. Como les comentábamos, las presentaciones y los contactos, hubo ya algunas preguntas que fuimos respondiendo, pero seguramente hay gente que tiene preguntas más específicas.
Emma, hay problema con tu audio.
We've lost you, Emma. We've lost your sound, Emma.
Emma, si podés apagar y prender tu micrófono de vuelta, a ver si se arregla. No, parece que no. Vamos a continuar con Thielman Farter, si querés dar unas palabras de cierre para el seminario, por favor. Mr. Thielman, we hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. A very big thank you to all our participants this morning, well, this afternoon, who have given up their time and energy and effort to spend some time with us and to share their experiences in doing business, in looking at opportunities, and exchanging ideas in terms of technology, research, and also best practices. We value all your inputs, and we are ready to assist in terms of inquiries. I have with me Florencia Achkar. She's the marketing officer at the South African Embassy, and both, of course, she will be the main contact person, but you're most welcome to contact me as well and see if there's anything that the South African Embassy can help you with. Of course, to our partners, the ICBC and the ICBC Foundation, and to Trade and KwaZulo-Natal Trade and Investment, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure dealing with you. And we'd like to work again with you in the next presentation next month, which will deal with the real estate sector, as well as the very important aspect of tourism in South Africa. But once again, thank you very much to everybody that participated, and let us go and do business and look at new opportunities. Thank you. Thank you very much.
If I could just grab everybody before you leave. I must applaud ICBC for their leadership and for Mr. Tillman, Florencia, and the team for really being the glue that holds this together. I think for Trade and Investment KwaZulo-Natal, it's extremely exciting to have this quality of participation. Grain South Africa, Bioceres, Southern Hemisphere Seeds. I'm missing out one person, Martin, Bioceres, and San Miguel, of course. What's so exciting is the critical component of collaboration and cooperation in each of your stories, from Grain South Africa and how they partner across the ocean with similar stakeholder organizations in South America. San Miguel's fantastic involvement in the local communities. To see someone like Francisco, who's traveling between two countries. Martin Ventura, your presentation as well, fantastic. Thank you very much. We are very excited at Trade and Investment KwaZulo-Natal. I want to say very, very strongly, and especially considering some of Francisco's points. Francisco, I really, really liked your last slide. I liked the frankness of it. I wanted to start by saying fantastic on the performance in Copa with the goal yesterday. And thank you for raising that. But I think also your frankness in terms of both the positive and the negative. And what I want to say to all the participants and even to our colleagues at Grain SA, Trade and Investment is committed to making doing business easier, to removing those red tapes and getting you over those hurdles. And I really would like to see how we could work with each and every one of you. When I think of San Miguel, KwaZulo-Natal is a major contributor in the citrus market. Let's talk about how you can replicate what you've done in the Western Cape with us. Of course, Francisco, you have been almost a major driver in making soybeans become one of the top 3 products from KwaZulo-Natal. It wasn't on the landscape 15 years ago. We had grain and sugar, maize and sugar. So sorry for drawing it out, but truly the presentations are fantastic. Mr. Tillman, Florencia, Emma, Pablo, thank you very much. And to our colleagues who have given us their time and shared their success. I hope this is an inspiration to all the participants. And I saw a lot of South Africans as well as Argentinians in the chat. Please reach out to us and let's see how we can replicate these successful models for you in KwaZulo-Natal and introduce you to other provinces if necessary, where you see your best opportunity to lie. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Chao.
Muchas gracias.
Hasta luego, chao. Gracias a todos.
Gracias.